Welcome to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast, where it's all about getting real around all things coaching.
And what we know for sure is that what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one's really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Hey, Karen.
Yes, Jennifer.
We have got an action-packed May in front of us, and we wanted to invite all of our listeners to two special events. So before we get going on today's topic, mark this down. On May 13th at noon Eastern Time, we're doing a free Zoom workshop. It's all about Kickstart Your Interpersonal Relationships, how to coach trust and connection using EQ. It's going to be good.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. You won't want to miss it.
And the second thing we have going on is we are having a free Inner Circle call, and that's going to happen on May 24th at 2:00 Eastern. And you can find the signups for both of those located in the write-up description of this podcast. So we just wanted to say, please come and join the fun.
And the cool part about that too is the inner circle. Well, you get to experience the inner circle, like the inner circle, because stuff happens in the inner circle that you might not know about. Well, you can't unless you're in it. So you get to experience it if you join up for that day, May 24th.
Fantastic. All right. So this whole month we are doing a theme, and the theme is around emotional intelligence, with focusing on only one of the 15 subscales. So this is what they call a double backflip, half cannon into the deep end of the pool to be able to do all things around interpersonal relationships.
Is that really a thing, or did you just make it up?
I think it's a combination of ice skating moves and the old Cannonball.
Okay. Wasn't quite sure, so I just wanted to clarify.
I love it. So let me give you guys the definition of interpersonal relationships, right? So as part of the EQI 2.0, interpersonal relationships relates to your ability and tendency to give and receive trust and compassion, and to establish and maintain mutually satisfying personal relationships.
The part about that, Jen, that I really like is when you break down this definition, right? Interpersonal relationships relates to your ability and tendency to give and receive trust and compassion, right? So there's a bunch of things happening here, and to establish and maintain mutually satisfying personal relationships. And I know that we're going to break this down, but there's in this one sentence, there is so much. It's just jam as packed, right? So it's your ability and tendency to give and receive trust and compassion, and to establish and maintain mutually satisfying personal relationships. But when you think about that, right, it's like, how do you really, really want to break down this subscale? Well, you don't have to, because we're going to do it for you.
So the first part that it's about giving and receiving. So relationships, when effective, are two-way streets. And we've all been in relationships that have only been a one-way into a dead-end alley, right? So it is about being able to give and receive. So it's when you say that, it's what's your relationship with trust? Do you give it freely? Do you receive trust from other people? What's your relationship with compassion, since those are two of the things that are called out? And in what way does that show up? Are you selective with the compassion that you give? Do you always have compassion? Some of the things to realize is that when interpersonal relationships are going well, there's ease in creating and sustaining social interaction. So you're going to find this a lot with teams. There's good teamwork and effective communication that could be within the team or across multiple departments. It's about understanding how others can help you, and you can also help them.
Too, though, Jen, as you're just saying that, what jumped up for me was that in these interpersonal relationships, it's the ability to really connect with people, right? So it doesn't have to always be like, sunshine and rainbows, but it doesn't have to be, lollipops and whatever. Because with the relationships, there's ups and downs and good and bad, but it's how are you showing up? And whether it's about trust or whether it's about compassion that you're bringing to the table there, it's really about how do you really create that mutually satisfying relationship.
It's interesting, Kara, as we have been working with so many, obviously, virtual teams, being in our where we are in the world today. The number one thing I think is fair to say that we both hear again and again and again, I love working at home and I cannot wait to be back in the office, right? I miss my interaction with people. I miss my connection with people. I miss the hallway conversations, the whiteboarding in a conference room. I miss being at meetings I don't even want to be at, but because they're in person, I know I'm going to love them.
Right. And the flip side of that, right, is the other people who are a little bit more apprehensive about that. And how do they still maintain those relationships when people are afraid to go back to work? But yeah, we're hearing a lot that, people want to get back in the office. People love working from home, love the freedom, love the flexibility. Hey, let's throw some laundry in right now. But it's really, they are craving connection. They want connection. And it's, everybody's getting tired of looking at each other through a little box on a Zoom screen. They do. We're not on video. But the thing here, right, Jen's gesturing like we are in a box right now. But when you think about it, right, people are so used to the Zoom thing and the Brady Bunch squares and however many squares it is that you have, it's getting old for some people, and Zoom fatigue is real.
So it's interesting, right? So part of it is for this first week of the breakdown of interpersonal relationship what are 3 relationships that you have that you would like to be stronger? What do you need to do to be able to give and receive trust? What do you need to do to give and receive compassion to be able to create a deeper connection? The other thing we want you to ponder is what are 3 relationships that you're no longer maybe interested in, that they're there by default. The trust is broken, the compassion's not there. They're just really not your people. But yet for some reason, you feel they should be your people, or you're holding on to them because they're a part of your history. Because part of this whole experiment in May is understanding who do you want to be in regards to all your interpersonal relationships.
And just one more thing, Jen, I would love it for people to just really define what is mutually satisfying, right? What does that really mean to you? And what is a mutually satisfying relationship? And on that note, Barley, let's wrap it up.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast. Craving more in-depth discussions? Check out the Get Real Inner Circle with our no BS in-crowd of coaches.
Join live coaching discussions, breakdowns of coaching calls, and have some fun while you're at it.
You're going to want to go to kickstartyouredge.com/inner circle. It's time to get real.